Commit to this to supersize your business. Annual challenge day 182. Super. Let's review. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Today we are talking about the last step of our super framework. Every year we pick at least we have in the Supersize You annual challenge, a process that we follow when we go through, and we apply it to each of the 9 life framework areas: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, communication, and confidence every year, because that's the framework that I use to structure my life, not just my business, not just my personal life, everything. Because we are human beings, and that means we interact with our business more than anything else. To me, it's impossible to separate who I am as a human being from who I am as a business owner. I had the same challenges in corporate America. I always owned a couple different businesses while simultaneously working in corporate America, raising my family and things. So I had to have frameworks and systems that worked for me in order to not go absolutely bananas and bonkers and totally burn out. And that's part of why I focus on each of these different areas of the life framework. I personally believe balance is BS, and you can fill in your own BS, but I think it's a broken system. I don't think that we are ever balanced, meaning equal in all areas and aspects of our life. But we should be and could be and can be continually improving in each of those different areas on an ongoing basis. And how we do that is paying attention to it. So this month we're paying attention to our physical health and well-being, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I don't want to forget the super framework, because I missed a day. I missed, I think it was P day or E day. It must have been E. Anyway, it does not matter. We're covering it now. The last step of our process this year, we're doing just a simple 5-step process, is review. What that does review mean? Review means we go back to June 1st, we take out our handy dandy annual challenge notebook. I hope you're keeping one. You can see neatness isn't a factor. It's what do I need to do to learn and grow and be a better version of myself so I can be a better leader and role model for my business. So today we're talking about reviewing, which fits right with the super framework. We're reviewing how far we've come. So we're looking at June 1st, and we're looking at today, and we're saying, okay, what's changed? If nothing's changed, ask yourself why. Because if you did one little thing every day for 30 days, I guarantee things have changed. Now, if you did one day or no days, then probably nothing has changed, right? I know that there were a couple of days I skimmed by, and as I go through my review, I see those, and I commit to myself that I'm going to pick up where I left off and do that. So today, our physical health requires that we have a daily practice. I mean, if you didn't brush your teeth, if you didn't go to the bathroom, if you didn't eat every day, what would happen? So we're already doing these things that we need to do if you didn't sleep. We're doing the things we need to do to survive as a human being, but we can take those up a notch by doing them in a slightly different way. Say you're exercising 3 days a week, but you haven't mixed it up in 8 years. I might know somebody who is guilty of that. And you decided, okay, I need to mix this up a little bit. I've been walking every day in a row for 8 years. Maybe it's time to add a little bit of different movement to my repertoire. So we're going to choose 3 non-negotiable things with respect to your business. If you're doing the personal challenge with me, you're going to do 6 things you're going to commit to. Oh my God. Here's my trick for committing to things, especially multiple things. If I'm asking you to commit to 6 things, I personally am going to commit to 6 things. What I like to do when I'm selecting those things is I'm making a commitment to myself. You're not committing to me. You're not committing to anybody in the community. You're not committing to anybody in the world except yourself. Guess what? That is the most important relationship that you've got. Our relationship with ourselves is the be-all and end-all of relationships. We need to be true to our word to ourselves. I don't know about you, but I learned a long time ago when I was pretty young that I have certain core values and certain beliefs that are non-negotiable. Fidelity to me is non-negotiable. Doing the right thing, doing the best I can with what I've got in any given situation, non-negotiable to me. And you decide, continuous improvement, lifelong learning, creativity, looking for the positive, seeing the opportunities. All of these things have become non-negotiables for me. And I've got those with respect to my health. So I'm asking you and challenging you today to pick 3 non-negotiable things that you will carry out for at least the next 90 days, but I would love it if you would actually commit to yourself to doing it until the end of the year. That's 6 months, and really seeing what the impact of those little changes are. Remember, sometimes it's just a little change in perspective or a little tweak of the dial that changes everything. And so I'm challenging you to find those 3 things and commit to doing them. With respect to our business, we want to, number 1, be a role model for physical health in our organization. Guess what? If you're a heavy substance abuser, if you're an overworker, workaholic, that's what you're demonstrating for your people. And if you want a whole organization of them, that's your choice, right? Based on your values and what you think is most important. But remember, people are always watching what we're doing and what we're saying. And if what we're saying doesn't match what we're doing, that's a huge disconnect for them. It causes confusion. And what does a confused mind say? It says no. So keep that in mind when you're demonstrating different things that you want to demonstrate for the people in your organization. If you want people to be consistent and show up on time, well, you got to be consistent and show up on time, right? We have to demonstrate what we want. Just like for our kids. If we want our kids to not yell and scream and fight, guess what? We can't yell and scream and fight with our partner, right? I was a very bad example of that. I hate to admit it, but I will admit it. Excuse me. Oh, I am so sorry. This little cold is sticking to me like glue. I gotta quit saying that so it goes away. All right, back on topic. Drink a coffee. So just reflect. How's the month gone? And then be really honest with yourself. If you didn't have time for the challenge, you didn't have time for the challenge. But then see if you can't find a time to go back and at least look at the topics. And because a lot of these things, I don't think I covered anything this month that I didn't know or haven't heard before. I doubt that I covered much this month that you haven't known or heard before. But sometimes we just need a reminder. So I like to be that stimulus or that reminder that, yeah, we got this, we can do this. And guess what? We can do this while we have a family and build our business and not fry ourselves or have ourselves have a sudden cardiac arrest, because we're a lot smarter now. I am a lot smarter now than I was when I had my sudden cardiac arrest at 50. I was being ruled by my feelings, things that were happening outside of me, and I was taking responsibility for it that had nothing to do with me. But I felt like it was my fault because I was connected to the situation. Sever those ridiculous beliefs and ties. So ask yourself, what would your life be like? And I'm going to challenge you to actually do it and find out. What will your life be like if you stick to these 3 things that you're committing to today till the end of the year? How do you think your life will be enhanced or changed? I guarantee it'll be transformed. I absolutely positively 100% guarantee if you do the 3 things every single day, and if you pick the 3 best things for you, of course. I mean, the 3 things I commit to are going to be different than the 3 things you commit to. Probably. Maybe the same. I'm committing to getting more sleep. I'm committing to making sure I stay hydrated and I get my water every day. And I am committing to moving my ass every single day between now and the end of the year. Those are my 3. I guess I wasn't going to share them, but I guess I did. Those are for me. And why do they help my business? Because if I don't sleep, if I don't move my body, if I don't do the things that are right for me every single day, I'm not going to have the energy to run my businesses, right? I just won't. I know from personal experience that if you reach a certain point, your body will give you the wake-up call. Not the wake-up call you want, the wake-up call you've been begging for a decade or more. All right, I digress. So we are wrapping up physical health and well-being today. If you have any questions specifically about this area, this would be a great time to ask them. We can schedule a Q&A. We can do whatever works. We can chat in direct messaging. You can Voxer me, however you choose to connect. If you have a question, don't keep it in, because I bet other people have that same question. Just put it in the comments below, and then we'll figure out the best way to answer it so that most people can have access to it. All right, that is actually a great way to demonstrate and be a leader, is to ask good questions. Ask any questions, because if you're thinking of it, somebody else is too. All right, go out and make it a fantastic day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. New area. Can anybody guess what it's going to be? All right, bye.